Right. You can start the music. Go.
We are now live. Hello, everybody. Live streaming on the Kabbalahinfo or Kabbalahinfo Facebook page. The world is not in a war. Countries are not warring each other. Political parties. This is not about political parties, not about the kind of government you have. We're all under quarantine. The whole world together in every country, every color, every sexual orientation. We're all one humanity and we're all quarantined together. And we are here as the QuaranTeam. Hello, Asaf.
Yes, the QuaranTeam is live, and the QuaranTeam is here to bring everyone together in a time of social distancing, in a time of physical distance. The virtual world is here to aid us in connecting our hearts. And this is really what the virus is doing to us these days, if you think about it. People are afraid of the same things, they have the same concerns, they share a similar sense of threat, and just an interesting adventure, albeit frightening and tragic in some cases. It is an adventure, and it's an adventure that we're taking on as a humanity, as a species. It doesn't matter where you're from, like you said, where you are, who you are, what language you speak.
Nature is saying to everybody all over the world, stop.
Yeah.
You're ruining everything you touch. You go sit down. You go home.
Go to your room.
You go to your room. You go to your room. Everything. You're ruining the ocean. You're ruining the land. You're ruining the air. You're ruining your relationships. You're just everybody stop, sit down, and go home.
Go home. But be with your friends at heart, I think.
Exactly. That's what's going on here. So now we have an opportunity to connect. We're here as a QuaranTeam to help human beings connect. We have some amazing guests today. We're going to musical guests from around the globe, insights from the authentic wisdom of Kabbalah about what is going on in the world and the new world that we are heading into.
Yeah, and I'm already seeing Jason from Houston here is saying hello, saying he's been waiting for this. Awesome. This is the time to mention that we encourage you guys to be with us, to connect with us. Send us whatever you feel, questions, suggestions. If you want to hear some insights from the wisdom of Kabbalah about what's happening today, you can send this in the form of a question. If you just want to add your suggestion, that's great as well. Just add your input, connect with us, guys. We want to do this together. We want to be the QuaranTeam.
Asaf, maybe since you're very, very good at explaining things in a clear way, maybe you can just give as you would say, painting with broad strokes. You could give an Asafism here, and just on a high level, without getting into too much detail. What is this virus towards humanity in the wisdom in light of the wisdom of Kabbalah?
Yeah. Okay, help me out here. So I'm always tuned in to Rav Lightman's lesson, Kabbalist Dr. Michael Lightman, and it's fascinating to see while humanity is going through this very
explaining things in a clear.
It really is a crazy time. There's no doubt. But while it's happening, and it's frightening, and it's weird, and it's new, if you look at articles of Kabbalist Yehuda Ashlag, and if you tune into the daily lesson from Kabbalist Michael Lightman, who's interpreting these articles, you will see that they're seeing the future. They're seeing one step forward. This virus is just a step. It's not the end-all be-all. It's a wake-up call from nature, but it's more than a wake-up call. It's pushing us to reorganize ourselves.
Stop for a second.
Yeah.
If we were a month ago, and just remember where we were, so we can pick up again. I just want to stop for a second. If we're reading these articles, day after day, and people are thinking year after year, how can we get the whole world to stop polluting? It's like we talked about this yesterday for a minute. How can we get everybody to think about something else besides the rat race? There's people in New York, they're driving 2 hours to work and 2 hours home from work. How can I not have to be sitting in traffic every single day?
Worse than hours a day. Yeah.
To come up with a solution to all that, to change all that, it would have taken how many think tanks and how many, right? But all of a sudden, just like flip one switch. So the thing that the Kabbalists are talking about in these articles, it's like we can't, in our normal minds, when we're thinking of a solution, we're like, oh, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our plastic bottles and then we're going to turn them into stretchy pants. That's how we're going to, fix the plastic solution. And then we're going to, instead of using power from oil, we're going to use power from, we're going to do an electric car. But the electric car is running off of coal and nuclear at this point. The thing that the power that every solution that we come up with is trapped. Every single thing that we come up with up until this point is trapped, and the Kabbalists are seeing something beyond. So now if you can pick up your story, but from a point of, we have to be mindful that the solutions are not the solutions that are going to come inside this, this ego, the ego is going to come up with, we're going to change from plastic to this, or from electric to that, or something.
It's, when you're 8-year-old, you can't imagine what it means to be a 10-year-old. When you're 10-year-old, you can't imagine what it means to be 12 and 14 and 16 and 18 and so on. And we are evolving, we are growing up, and we're going to go into a new world. This is what's happening now. Whether it's going to happen immediately with this virus, or it's going to take some other natural balancing forces to shape us and mold us into a new formation of a human society, a new world. This is what's happening. We're in the labor pains. So if you want the tagline, we're in the labor pains of a new world. And this is what this virus is really about.
Does it have to be, how can it be comfortable?
Come on, man. Come on. Since when labor is comfortable?
Oh, it's not comfortable?
Oh, come on. It's not comfortable. I have a month-year-old at home, that, my third child. And, with every child, I saw my wife going through labor pains. It's not pleasant. Come on, let's be real here. But it depends on what you're focused on. If you're focused on, oh my God, the sky is falling, everything is collapsing, who knows what's going to happen, then it's horrible. It's terrible. But if you're focused on what's going to happen, which is you're going to have a baby and it's going to be new life, then this is just a process, and the unpleasantness becomes mitigated. It becomes something sweet. You become mature,
So it felt from like yesterday, it felt like the rocket ship was kind of leaving, and it's like, wow, it's going to be a new world, and then today I got up and saw things happening, and it felt like gravity was kind of like there's also a force right now that's pulling everything, like we're going to get back to normal, like just wait wait a month or two. All the stores are going to open back up. Everything is going to be fine. We're all going to go back to work. Everybody, don't worry. You can pay your credit card debt again. And don't worry, you'll have your student loans to pay off again. And don't worry, you'll have your auto loans. And don't worry, your relationships will fall apart.
I think you just hit the nail on the head. What this virus is doing to us, I don't want to sound divisive, but it's kind of filtering, right? It's running humanity through a filtering program, where people are going to have to choose. Ultimately, everyone will have to choose that, but people are going to have to put themselves in their mindset, either in clinging to the old familiar world that we were slaves to, or giving birth to a new world.
Okay, so that's the thing. So here's what we can do. Here's what we can do, everyone. So right now, I see Cece's here, Susan from Canada, Gordon from the Jordana from the UK, Amber from San Diego. Hi, everybody. John from Houston, Melody from Phoenix. Oh my God, Emily from Turkey, Angel from Spokane, Washington, Aldo from Quito, Ecuador. Wow, this is incredible. So here's what we can do, everybody. Yeah, change is never comfortable. That's the point, Angel, right? So here's what we can do. Hi, Bonnie in Colorado. Johan.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Okay, so here's what we can do, everybody. Here's the thing. Alone, it's very, very, very uncomfortable. and very, very painful, and we can slip back into the old way. But if we can continue to support each other, hi Saeed, in Sweden. If we continue to support each other, we can create a force. We can create a field of the same way there was a field in the air, like after things happen, like let's think of a good example. You walk into a stadium at a concert or something. There's some electricity in there. I was going to think.
You know what? I heard a friend of ours from Israel. She was speaking on a similar kind of podcast that our friends are doing in Israel, and she had a perfect example. Actually, I want to repeat it here. She said, "I went outside. There's no one out there. It's really weird. The streets are empty, and then I'm just thinking and feeling the situation. And from a scary, kind of something that feels like a ghost town kind of sense, suddenly, if you delve into it, it feels more like a womb. That's the kind of thing that we need to go through a proper labor. We need a supporting womb for the labor to happen. We need to make sure that we get all the nutrients we need, and get all the mechanisms that we need to be built in us, so that when we go out to the air of the new world, we're ready for it. And the air of the new world, that's yeah.
Some people think that this is a conspiracy. Some people think it's something created by the pharmaceutical industry. Some people think it's a biological attack. Some people think it doesn't. Whatever's going on one level, that's one level. Whatever caused it, and whatever reason it's here, a chain reaction has. And we don't have to get too deep into the Kabbalah of it, although we can, depending on where the show goes and where our guests want to go with it.
And whether people here, everyone who's watching, if you want to send a question and ask us to expand on something, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. This is the purpose of the QuaranTeam, and we're going to be bringing in friends from around the world. The purpose here is we're home. Some people are still going in and out. I'm still kind of actually going in and out to work. But we have time now to Isaac Newton, for example. If I saw this circulating around the internet today, in his early 20s, it was the time of the Great Plague hit in London, and this was called his wonder years or something like that. He started to develop his theories on optics. Now I think that's when he developed calculus. Was during this time. What we have time now. We are not sitting in traffic. The majority of us are not sitting in traffic now. The majority of us have some time at home. We can now create this womb together, and it makes it real. Let's create this environment together. Let's make something that wasn't there yesterday. Let's create this environment. Angel Gallagher, we have to love and support each other to get through tough times. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's right. So that's what we're doing here. We're creating an environment. We are re-educating, or maybe not we're educating ourselves now about how we're going to live in this new world. What we're looking forward to.
I have an idea here, and that idea is something that you and I discussed earlier, but our viewers don't know yet. So I'm wondering how much of a surprise we're going to make of it. Look, I think that
I'm intrigued.
To help us really, nail this
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
To help us understand what's going on here and really put more words and more insights with regards to what's happening today, right now, and where humanity is headed. We have a special guest who is actually working on a special project. And I think if we bring him up and we talk to him, I think our viewers will be happy, and we can really go deeper into this conversation. So in a few seconds, some of you are going to see probably a familiar face. And until he or she appears here, let's see who else is writing what. I'm seeing John. I'm seeing Ruth is with us, and Angel is with us. We have to love and support each other to get through tough times. Thank you for sharing. And Tony Kosanek is with us live.
Wow.
Hi, guys.
The flesh.
Hi, Tony.
Hello.
You can't tell that I'm in my pajama bottoms, can you?
Actually, you know that the thing with like with the newscasters don't wear any pants. I think like in the time of Corona, like needs to wear pants because you're just walking around virtually
I
naked.
think by week 2 I'll get into no pants for sure. You don't actually get into no pants. You don't get into pants is basically it. Yeah, this
It's also more economic, you know. This is the whole thing that's happening now. We're
Less waste.
well, I don't know. There's a lot more waste in a certain way. Yeah, I'm enjoying listening to you guys try to put your finger on this thing. It's really
how do we?
go
Yeah, yeah,
ahead.
go. How do we look? We're. I feel that we're challenged because there's something really beautiful that's happening and really frightening that's happening. It's everything at the same time. How would you describe this process of labor that we, as we try to explain it, that humanity is going through, and how do you feel it personally?
Well, first of all, it's there's a lot of ways you can describe it, but to me, it really verges on the miraculous. Okay, wait a minute. When it oververged it, it is miraculous. We're seeing a natural process taking place, um, and I think in our hearts we know what this really is because it's actually very much what we want.
What is it in our hearts?
We want to be connected to what's to source, to what's real. We want to not be alone. We want to feel the scope of life and the goodness of life that we feel in the bottom of our hearts is the way that it really is, but everything sort of inside of us and outside of us has been denying that. Now something's happening. It's big, and dare we even think for a moment that that's really what it is? You know, it is because we are. What's becoming really, really evident is that instead of us thinking sort of intellectually or philosophically that we are one creature, we're having one experience, this is all we have, really have access to everything and everything's good, it's kind of being pressed on us. We're not ready for it. We actually are. We're just not. We're not ready for it as individuals because it's not about being individual, and this is because there's no freedom actually in the kind of individuality that we've had. So now everything that seems impossible in the direction that we've been going in suddenly becomes possible when we see what's being pushed in our face, which is it's not about you as an individual. Of course, you won't succeed reaching everything that you want to feel, love, and give as an individual. You don't have the strength to do it. But that isn't what we are. It's what's in our faces. Like, get used to this. The whole of you, like what you actually are, is now being birthed. Your connection to other people is you. And the success lies in the recognition of that, of the profound and beautiful embrace that we're in.
How are we in an embrace?
We're completely dependent on each other. We can't survive. We're getting it in it like sort of in the backside, like the negative side of it first. If you don't recognize that you and everyone else around you are so connected that you will not survive without your connection to the other people. Now, what is the flip side of that? That's what life is. That's what you actually are. Now go play in this beautiful new world. And I think really all that we have to do is observe what's actually changing and internalize it. Because by doing that, it's not like we have to figure it out. We have to accept it and ride it. And just like a newborn babe, we have to observe and copy the example that nature is giving to us.
Tony, I think that's so profound about this because we don't really know what it is we're supposed to do, right? I mean, this is totally uncharted territory that we're in now.
Well, that's chaos theory is like that you get to a certain point where things must change, and instead of the order that has been there in the past, suddenly it's in complete chaos, so that it will order and teach and establish the next form.
So as far as what we need to do when we wake up in the morning, with our hands and feet, that's one thing. But there is something in the wisdom of Kabbalah that it seems like, well, we've been reading the same thing over and over and over and over again, and now it's like this is what it is. There's an internal connection. It's not like, I think we all kind of felt when we first started studying and started learning about unity that we're going to create these festivals, or at least I did. We're going to make festivals, and there's going to be lots of great music there, and we're going to feed everybody, and it was all this kind of what we're going to build. And now it's like we're building something between our hearts in a sense, like building something.
Yeah, well, there is this upper force, and it builds everything, and it only won't build where we don't agree. It'll say, "Okay, forget it, you guys." It's building. We are agreeing, and that's basically how it gets built. It's not exactly that we do it, but that we. What's the term that we use in the study? It's we annul, but it's not annulling, it's embracing.
It's actually beautiful to see what's happening right now in the chat. I see Angel and Sam, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, are saying similar things that maybe we can expand on, because Angel is saying, we gotta like ride the wave. If you resist it, it will persist. Sam and I saying coronavirus is teaching us how to live without having control over every aspect of our life. It's preparing us to annul ourselves. It's interesting, So this is a vantage point that as people who are deep in the study of Kabbalah, we can see that it's not a random event that it's happening, and it's not.
It actually feels very natural in a certain sense.
Yeah, feels very natural. It feels very nature. Nature is kind of like embracing us, but like Tony said before, how would we explain if people would ask, why is that embrace not pleasant? Which is what we started with. Why doesn't?
Because we've got relationship issues, basically.
But we don't think we have to prove anything. I don't think it's possible, actually, to prove anything to anyone. How can you prove to a child about something that the child doesn't understand until you patiently wait or you allow nature to elevate him? Because I don't think we need to go out and, we need to continue to discuss this, explain this, and build this force between us now, this new kind of connection between us. But I don't think we have to convince somebody who doesn't understand what's happening, because they need to, like, for us, it takes time till nature kind of allows you to see. Somebody today at work, a business colleague I was speaking to, like very pragmatic business colleague, said, I'm like, well, what do we do about this? He said, well, we pray. I said, are you serious? I said, are you serious? Is this what we've come to in our business conversation, that you're saying we're supposed to pray in order to get it to work? Because he was talking to this person may be sick, and then he said, well, I guess you try anything. Now, I couldn't believe the conversation. Like, this is a person who, of all of the business colleagues I know, is one of the most pragmatic. I couldn't even believe what was coming, but he doesn't know. He's, I don't know. I'm not sure what we're supposed to. Maybe we just pray. I don't know. I don't know what pray means to him, but what I heard and what he was saying was, this person was not ready yesterday. And probably, 5 minutes after the conversation, he was back in his business mind thinking. But there was a moment there where he realized, like you said, Tony, before, like the child who's mimicking, he's like, I'm not sure where the answer is, but it's somewhere out there, and I need to ask to find something that is not in my scope of life.
Yep, not in the control of the individual, not in control of governments, not in control of militaries, not in control of the mind, of the intellect, of knowledge, but in the realm of the heart, our survival depends on the intentions of our heart being being true. Being true. Because if they don't lead to actions of responsibility, then it's not, there's no buffer. But when you love, that's what you want. You don't want there to be a buffer. You want to be dependent. You want your heart connected to the person and the feeling that your life is connected with them, and vice versa. But the relationship is not just between you and me and Asaf, although we're very close, and I can see we all like wearing glasses. The relationship is with, and I like yours in particular, Seth. They're very bright.
Thanks.
The aviation style.
Onward and upward. The relationship is all of us with life, with nature. This is something, that's what I meant by this is the relationship that we wanted. This is the adventure that you guys were talking about. This is it's a new world, and the thing about the new world and observing it is that all of the stuff, like you were saying, that we don't need is being taken away. Every excess, every nonsensical, imaginary sort of engagement that we have is being removed. And the sense that I get from it, and what I hear Rav Lightman saying, at least the way I hear it, is that this is going to. People want to know. I saw the sort of press briefing with the president and all of the things that they're doing, and people are saying, when will this end?
Yeah.
And the answer, I think, is it will end as soon as something happens that makes it impossible to go back the way that it was. That's when this will end, because that's when like you can leave the ark.
I heard another nuance to it. If we make it through this with the egos, then the next wave could come 6 months after that, or it doesn't have to be this virus. It could be a volcano. It could come. The waves will come faster and come harder. The point isn't that we just go back to the ego life again. The point is that we use it. Joe, can you? I don't know how to follow the comments.
Okay, so just 1 second. I see that a bunch more people are joining and writing things and commenting, and thank you guys. And friends are saying that our viewers are saying they're happy to see all of us together. We're happy to be together and to be together with you guys.
Yeah.
If you want us to talk about something specific, you're welcome. Just shoot it in the chat and we will. I want Tony to talk about something unique that he's working on right now. I know that it's Tony, you're working on a new project. It's new. It's in its diapers, let's say. But but maybe you can describe a little bit how what it is and how it's related exactly to what's happening to the world today.
Okay, I hope I can. It's a course, and it's for KabU, which is our online educational platform, and it's a course for people in general, to give us the sense of, it's like a roadmap to the future. We're at a place now where we can't see what's on the other side of this. It's as though there's nothing there. Although I think we're past that point of thinking that this kind of thing is never going to happen. But there's a new world, and there are laws for this new world. And we can't really imagine what these laws are because we've developed in a completely different way up until now. So what this course is about is to give people a sense of where we are right now, why we're at the place that we're at right now, why we can't see what's just beyond this barrier that we're facing right now, what the rules are in order to enter that new world, that new way of being, and live there successfully. What are the laws of the coming world, of an integral world? What's the key law there that allows humanity to make that leap? And also, where did we originate from? Because there are we're now in a kind of material world. This course will explain, well, what is matter? What was pre-matter? What was before matter? What were we before we experienced ourselves the way that we experience ourselves now? And why did we develop the way that we did? And now that we're facing this new world, we are going into a post-material kind of reality. So what's matter? And how do you live when things are not motivated by matter? What is something that is post-matter? What does it depend on?
So Tone, you're going to approach what's happening to humanity today from pretty much the biggest, broadest perspective possible.
Yeah, and the way that we learn that is that we call it the three arrows, right? We had an origin before there was matter. We had an origin in desire, the desire of the Creator to create us and to fulfill to create a path for us to fulfill us so that we would understand the desire and love of nature, that we would truly understand Creator, meaning the force that creates, sustains, and guides everything. What is that? What were we originally? That's the downward arrow, where we descended from something that is higher than this world, that is not matter, down into matter, being egoistic desire, and then the third arrow pointing back up, where we all become united, and you could say, sort of ascend to a higher place, and to this fulfillment that nature had intended for us. So it's an explanation of this process, and the whole purpose of that is not to make somebody a Kabbalist. It's to give them a sense of bearing of
Who am I?
Yeah.
What is happening to me?
Yeah, why is this happening? Is this like wacky? Is it science fiction? No, it's the process, the actual process of evolution that the science of Kabbalah lets us understand.
It's so refreshing, Tony. It's so helpful in life to understand, like, what is actually happening to me? What are the forces working on me? What is it that is actually in my control? I mean, I see so many people with all kind of different psychological things and worrying about this and speaking 15 years about how their mother did this to them and 20 years about how this and like, you take away all, like, what you're talking about is like the blueprint or the structure.
It's like watching life and humanity and the world from the director's seat. And I think we're going to have to our viewers and friends here in the chat who are inspired by this, you're going to have to wait a little bit until the course is produced.
Yeah, can you plug it? How are they going to? Okay, so Ruth is saying, if you guys want to, she says, if you want to sign up.
Weeks away from it, right?
Well,
okay.
It's a bit off still. I mean, it's still in the writing process, and then we're going to produce it and so on. And it'll be a series of short lessons.
Like next week, maybe next month, we'll be ready.
All right. Okay. You guys, I think we will soon move to more guests that we have that are everyone's a surprise today. So I'm not going to say anything, but Tony, why don't you stay to watch with us a video that came from Toronto as well, from veteran Kabbalah students Dina and Alex, who produced what you're going to watch, and it's about humanity, the coronavirus, and the relationship between them. So let's check it out, and after that, we're gonna have a surprise guest. Actually, maybe even several guests, right? So let's watch it.
Asaf, I don't hear the sound. Asaf, I don't hear the sound. You're muted.
I think you didn't hear it.
Oh, but you heard it?
Oh,
Tony, did you hear it?
No, I
I
didn't.
did hear. I heard it, but I'm gonna try a different method. 1 second, and here we go. No,
Not so good.
no.
Tony, how's it sound on your side?
Very quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm hearing it through your phones, I think.
We're gonna have to come back to that. We can try with a link in 1 second. So let's try now. And yeah, no?
No, I don't hear it. Okay.
No, but it's making me want to go shopping.
Wrong video, wrong video.
It's it's a cool video. I hope our viewers will trust us that it's a cool video.
Hans in the Netherlands is saying Zoom by screen sharing, select share computer sound plus optimize for video. Thank you, Hans.
You know what? He's actually absolutely right.
Okay, so it takes a
Hans, you're the man. Thanks to you, everyone's gonna enjoy
a global
now.
connection. Thank you, Hans. And Chris Rivera says Zoom has a checkbox to share sound while you're on the share screen.
Yeah, they're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. Let's do it.
We're getting scared. Scared of the things we read and hear in the news. The shelves in Costco being ravaged. The weird no shaking hands greetings we've started to practice. Workplaces shutting down. Conferences being canceled. But mainly, the unknown. The unknown is scary. But do we have an objective perspective on what's happening? Are we really seeing what's being shown to us? As we're being rapidly bombarded by numbers and facts about the spread of the coronavirus, humanity is slowing down. We're producing less, consuming less, spending less money, and generating less pollution. Instead, we plan to spend more time with our families as health officials tighten restrictions on traveling and leisure businesses are shutting down. On top of that, we're being forced to become considerate of our neighbors' well-being as it directly influences our own. We are awakening to the fact that we're part of a single interconnected system. And this lesson is being given to us by nature itself. Not a well-spoken politician, a know-it-all scientist, or a Hollywood celebrity. Nature is telling us loud and clear. The time has come for us to change. Change our perception and behavior towards each other. Change our attitude to the system we are all a part of. So is the virus a real threat for humanity? Or is it a messenger to finally shake off all imaginary barriers between us and recognize the natural law of connection and oneness? Sure, this isn't the first time in human history that a common disaster unites people. But today, unlike ever before, all of humanity is hyper-connected across the globe, and we have the opportunity to see that we are one single family. The opportunity to step outside the ego-driven, self-centered reality we've grown so used to, and recognize that the true remedy for humanity is to care for each other wherever we are at all times.
All right. Thanks to all the friends online. We were able to listen to it. I know it probably was a little bit choppy. I guess it's never perfect, this sort of thing. But there's an amazing team of many people, Kabbalah students, who are creating these creative expressions, trying to really communicate that feeling of what is actually happening right now. And this video was just posted on Kabbalahinfo's Facebook page, I believe, and Kabbalahinfo's YouTube page. And if you follow these channels, you'll see these days, almost daily, new vlogs and different video expressions of different Kabbalah students coming up there. And it's really, this is what you should be watching.
let's stay in this field together. It's almost like a Netflix I mean, it's not a Netflix, but we have all of these friends from around the world who are creating these vlogs, short pieces like this around different concepts, around you remember some of the topics, Peter and Rono and Donna and Anna, John. There's all of these different we can stay in this womb. We can stay together in our connection of filling ourselves with these kind of emotions together, these kind of connections together.
Yeah.
Can we bring? We have anybody in the lineup here? Can we bring?
Yeah, we have
our vloggers.
We can bring a vlogger. You want a vlogger? Okay.
Let's bring a vlogger.
I'll bring you a vlogger. Okay. I'll bring a vlogger. Tone, what do you think?
I prefer a dark ale to a vlogger.
A vlogger.
A vlogger.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to surprise you here. And
where on the Kabbalahinfo site could somebody find these vlogs? Is it easy to find?
Yeah. So the YouTube channel, Kabbalahinfo, Facebook, Kabbalahinfo.
All the vlogs are there.
Yeah.
Vlog is a video blog, short videos on different topics.
Yeah. By the way, Seth, remember we talked about, while I'm getting our vlogger in here, you had an interesting point that we talked about, and I'd like to hear what Tony thinks about it as well, as a producer and as a media creator, about how media is going to have to change as well. It is changing in this whole situation that we're in. Like, if you're going to create another, I don't know, like a superhero movie, like right now, it's kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Humor, all of these things are kind of relative to where we are. If you watched, if I watched a Russian comedy, even if I knew the language, if I didn't know the culture.
No, I'm saying a superhero movie right now. I don't know, like
what I think?
You actually had a good example. Yeah.
What I think is going to be most relevant, the most forward-looking type of media is going to be like storytelling around a campfire. Superhero movies could not even imagine the situation that we're in right now.
It's unstoppable. You can't fix this with one person.
We are it's like the super brain. Like, if you take super in its literal meaning, the above, the thing that the meta society or the meta person, this is what's happening to us right now. It's beyond science fiction in a way, and nothing can sort of could make us imagine something that is more important than what we're going through now. I think in people's minds right now, they are living some kind of superhero or some type of historical, or dare I say biblical level experience. We all know it. If we can get past the sensation of fear, then a sensation of awe, and magic can kind of enter the picture. I think that media is going to need to be to come to the human level about clarifying the immense power of intention that we have towards other people. So it's going to, you can't do that by magnifying stuff. You have to do it by just coming down to what passes between people by means of the heart.
I think that between the three of us, we've been in a real Kabbalah womb, a real Kabbalah bubble. And it would be so helpful for the people who are watching this to be communicating, to be writing to us, to be asking questions, to be talking, to have this conversation going, to make this into a living thing. Because it, like you're saying, it's this connection of all of this, what you're talking about, this network. It has, the pieces of the network all have to come together. Everybody plays a role in the next kind of media, in the next entertainment. Asaf, what I think what you're talking about was yesterday. We were like, imagine some song comes out and some guy's talking about how, his jewelry or his fancy car or whatever. Could you imagine a guy releases a song tomorrow about that? Like, who cares? It's just irrelevant.
Yeah, I think there's a dissonance that's beginning to happen between what is actually happening to us, what we aspire to, what we need, and even what we need as a form of entertainment. All our entertainment today, most of it, okay, like a lot of our entertainment industry is a distraction. It's just to distract ourselves. And at this point in time, we don't need distraction. We need deepening. We're kind of like, I have a feeling that people are going to get and reassuring, and we want to touch that point that we weren't touching for millennia. We want to finally awaken and flex that inner muscle that we all feel is there. This
is the medium. This is the media. Who are we? We're three people. That's all. But we're talking about the most important stuff that there is to us. And by the way, it's also the most important thing that's to everybody else.
Because we're all humans, exactly. It's the common point. It's the only common point that unites us, that quest for being connected with each other and with the source of life. That is what goes beyond all barriers and differences and everything and anything, and just, strips us naked and leaves us with just this pure, like pristine desire called the human level of reality, just wanting to connect to the source of life.
So let's recap for a second where we are.
I have word that our vlogger is ready to go on.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So let's recap where we are. The world we left from last month was filled with hostility and animosity between the United States and Russia and China, and wars in India between the Hindus and the Muslims, and in China there was however many Muslims in these confinement camps, and the U.S. was posturing against Russia, and Russia was posturing here, and you got what's going on in Venezuela, and everybody had credit card debt, and everybody had auto debt, and there was $1.5 trillion in student loans, and everybody's over their head, and everybody's sitting in rush hour traffic, or most people are sitting in traffic to get to work, and everybody's working 10 hours a day, and everyone's looking for a place to put their kids all the time and keep their kids busy in activities, and then they can get home from work and maybe spend an hour with their kids, and nobody has time to spend time with their spouse or their partner we're doing something meaningful. So once a year we go on a vacation, or twice a year we go on a vacation, and then we come back and we have to pay it off. That's the world we left. Why do we want to go back to that world?
I don't. I was about to vomit. I was glad you stopped.
All right. Don't. Thanks. Thank you so much for doing this, for being with us. I have a vlogger that is really eager to come here and share with us her impressions. Thanks again,
Tony. I'm giving you a giant virtual hug. One day we'll be able to embrace again.
And yeah, and thanks Tony for stopping you, Seth, from describing that horrible world we never want to go back.
I was only trying to explain it in order to remind everyone that, we don't want to go back to normal. That's the only.
We'll
okay, come on, Asaf, help me push it forward. I wasn't trying to drag it backwards. I was trying to say what we have to look forward to is a new kind of life. We don't want to go back to that. Okay, who do you got with us? In a second, we'll see. In a second, you'll see. In the meantime, I'm seeing that we have Marina and Kyle and Andrew and Vivian and Carl, Chris. A lot of people are adding their input in the chat here. And Donna, can we see your face? I mean, yes. Donna.
Yes.
Donna.
Hi, friend.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me well?
Donna, we hear you perfect. Thank you for joining us.
Good.
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great actually.
You are?
Yeah.
Why are you so good?
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny because I hear you talking about everybody having more time, and I guess for a lot of people that's the case. But I must say that I don't know. So I'm very busy working on so many projects, and it's all because this exciting time.
What kind of projects?
Well, as you said, like vlogging, for instance. I was well, my husband Ronald, he was abroad, and when he came back after 1 day or half a day, he got some fever and a cough. So we decided to not take any risks and stay home.
So you put yourself in quarantine, just to make it clear to our viewers. You and Rano, your husband, you put yourself in quarantine because you didn't want to take risk and infect other people, and you got into this whole quarantine experience.
Exactly.
All right. What happens there?
What's that like? Well, what I think what brought us to actually start vlogging about it was the inspiration we got from going online and seeing, of course, hearing our teacher on the one hand, but also in social media and friends, seeing how this creepy virus was kind of connecting everyone. And everybody started to share posts.
Donna, Amber asked a question about being scared. Maybe you can, as you're talking, you can almost respond to Amber's question about fear that people had, because I sense in what you're saying, you're kind of almost responding to that. So that's helped.
Yeah. I must say I disconnected from the Facebook stream now, so indeed I can't see the questions anymore. So I don't know exactly what Amber was asking. But I don't know, maybe I'm a bit of a weird example when it comes to fear, because I must say that the coronavirus, this whole experience, it made me less fearful. I've always been,
less fearful.
Yes. It makes me feel more confident. And the only reason is because I so strongly feel how we are all in this together, how it everything comes down to this matter of this level of existence, just only the fact of being human and having to overcome something that is coming over us as a tsunami. We are not really in control. The only control we have is staying together, fighting it together, taking care of one another, taking the responsibility of not going out. Even, I don't feel sick, it's okay, but I feel this, we are all in one boat, and this gives me confidence and makes me less fearful.
Can you post the link to your vlog when we're done speaking? If
you know
can,
what?
in the comment section.
And while we're talking, I'm just going to show some visuals just to give people a feeling of what you and Ronald are doing, how you guys are sharing these
You're
impressions.
blushing, Donna, you're blushing.
Of course. Yeah. No, it's exciting. And yeah, when I saw this inspiration online and how it connected people, how people started to write about it, to vlog, I felt I must do something. And then a dear friend, Osnat, she said to me, why don't you do something together with Ronno about this whole experience? And then I think, yes, that's it. Because even here, I think, when you do it together, when you're at home as a couple, being so, so in this bubble with this very, how do you say that? Vivid line to the outside world, but still physically just in our small apartment. Yeah, doing stuff like that on your own already feels weird. And so we started to record some things together, and also here it's much easier and less stressful to make a video together than when you have to do it on your own, just a talking head to a camera. Like, who am I all by myself? No one.
Donna, I know where you guys live. I haven't been there in a while, but how has the street changed outside? How has the neighborhood changed? Like, what's the situation there in Brooklyn?
Well, I must say we've been, the 14 days passed a couple of days ago.
So you stayed inside for 14 days?
Yes. And actually now, because the situation in the US and in New York is becoming more serious, so we decided actually to continue, because it doesn't make sense to go outside if
so
you
how
don't.
do you so from the wisdom of Kabbalah, because you and your husband are both very much inside of this wisdom together in our society, how do you apply this? I mean, a man and a husband and a wife together in a small apartment for 14 plus days together. Do you find any practical use of the wisdom of Kabbalah there? And what about this deeper heart connection?
Yeah, I've been wondering about that. Like, how come that we haven't killed each other yet? But it is indeed, it is this wonderful wisdom that helps us, and it makes us realize that it's all about mutual concessions, care for each other, and realizing that we both have this same desire, this same goal. So there are these moments that you get. If you're in isolation, you have these moments that you escape to, I don't know, something very corporeal. You can't get out of your bed, or you have to watch a movie or a series on Netflix and you can't stop watching. And that you can get annoyed by it. But then when you go back to that idea of, I know exactly what binds us and what Ronno really wants and where his heart is, and that his donkey just needs
His donkey,
a way out.
his body.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, the physical
His
part
physical
of us.
body. Yeah.
You know, we need to take care of that, and sometimes it just needs to be lazy, or or not connecting, just having a bit of a break, and then just yeah, it's fine or something. I don't know, but I realized that a lot of relationships are built on expectations. You know, I want you to be like this. I want you to do this, and that is something that, if you've been studying Kabbalah for only a short time, that you realize that is not
This
how
could
the
be an
world works.
amazing place for maybe. So I think you've done 2 vlogs together so far, 2
Three
videos together,
already.
3 together.
Three,
Okay, so I
yeah.
saw 2. I saw this one here that we're looking at now, and I saw the other one with the lemon. I would be very, very interested to see something about how you manage conflicts and things like that start to come up when a couple is trapped, because a lot of couples are going to be trapped, and to take the wisdom of
I want to hear as well. I want to hear advice if you can give to couples that are going to be trapped. And will vlogging, you think, help them? Maybe that's also an advice.
Asaf, can we get or Donna, maybe, I don't know if it's possible to do while we're live, but if you can put the link to your vlogs in the comments here, so if anybody wants to see them after, and then be able to, I don't know, follow it or whatever, so that when the other ones come out, no pressure. Hopefully you can get it done by the weekend so everybody has something to watch. But
I would say that viewers right now are getting a sneak peek, and it's gonna. One of them is already up on Kabbalahinfo, YouTube and Facebook page, and there's 2 more that are coming up. So just tune in to the YouTube page and the Facebook page, and you will see them coming up.
Yeah, and indeed, I like I said, I had to close my my Facebook, so it's hard to share now. But indeed, you will definitely will see them when you keep eye on Kabbalah.info. But it's nice what you were asking, because indeed it crossed my mind when I was answering Seth, that doing something creative with a deeper meaning, especially when it goes about when you're talking about these essential things in life, and you do it in a creative way. You really try to create something together. That's the best. I think that is the best way to I don't know, stay in a good relationship. And for the rest, if you want advice, yeah, it is realizing that a marriage, a relationship, is about these mutual concessions. It's not that you would try to make the other like the perfect person, or I mean, you fell for him or her, so that's all. That should already be clear. But not trying to change the other, no expectations, and when there's a conflict, also just let go, leave it be. Don't go into it too deep. Take a little bit of distance. Do your inner work of thinking, but who is this guy? What does he want from life? What is his approach to life? Isn't this the most beautiful person in the world? And you will even love each other more after this.
and if couples are treating each other in a special way, all of the other ways that they'll go out to work or whatever the new world will be, the way they treat children, the way they treat friends, the way, if the home is this incredibly nurturing, where a person feels safe, a person feels cared for, a person feels loved. Imagine you have a place where you come back to every day, and you leave from every morning where you feel loved, where you feel confident, where someone builds you up, and then you go into the world from that place. How relationship, the thing that we're building now, the relationships between us now will determine the world that we will enter next.
Oh yeah.
Asaf, if we can add now, Anna, are you with us? Donna, there's another fellow vlogger, good friend of yours, good friend of ours named Anna, also in Brooklyn.
Anna,
Anna, are
show
you with
yourself.
us? Can you turn your camera on? Because otherwise you're not on the. There
Oh,
you are.
look what's happening here. Oh
Okay.
my God.
So we have another vlogger here.
It's a
Anna,
Kabbalah vloggers meeting.
She's the best.
Anna, where can we see Asaf? Maybe while Anna's talking. Actually, can we play just the beginning of her latest vlog for a minute?
We
Her
can work
Corona
on
vlog?
it.
Okay.
We can work on it. Anna, what's up?
Well, I was really enjoying everything. That was one of my favorite videos with Donna when they were lying down ever I've seen. I wanted to guys tell you that it's amazing what you're doing. It's we're not lying down on our beds watching Netflix, as you said, but we're just like here, like thinking about future of something deeper. And it's amazing that we're giving the opportunity to the world to do something different, not even like to avoid this crisis in a way that we're used to, in a culture of distraction as we're used to with all those movies, but really get together and create a better future together. It can be better.
Let's watch together. Donna, stay with us for another minute to watch this this video from Anna, and then and before that, and after that, we're going to talk more about what we're going to watch. But Donna, maybe before that, just tell us maybe last final like a one-liner for couples who are going to be trapped together. What's the one thing that they should take home? What's your literally take home message for them? Stay home message. Yeah.
That no matter how you take it, no matter how hard it sometimes is, a bonding on this level between a man and a woman, this is fulfilling the ultimate purpose of creation.
Whew. Lofty. Thank you, Donna. Okay,
thanks, Donna. Donna, if you can Rono post the your link, your video, the link to your videos, or neither of you are on Facebook?
Yeah, no, I can do it now.
Okay.
I'm staying here. I'm leaving. Well, at least I'm muted.
We're gonna
watch the video with us.
Yes.
And
Okay.
and then we allow you to go.
And Anna, also, while the video is playing, if you can put the link to your video in the comments of this, so anyone who wants to check that out later, they can. Let's go to the video, Asaf.
All right, let's do it.
Are you wearing a mask? Do you have gloves? Do you have extra gloves? Can you share? How about wipes? Does it kill bacteria? How many? 99.9? Amazon sells a package for $75 and that has no bleach in it. Maybe we should put some alcohol in it. Am I gonna have a job tomorrow? Is everyone gonna cancel? Food shortage? I kind of don't know how to live this way.
Okay. Okay, wait a second.
That is such a good video.
I want to stop here. What Anna, take us through what's happening in your mind when you're what happened there that you started it like that?
Well, no one knows what happens in my mind. That's a secret even for me. But the funny thing is that I'm talking there about will I have a job tomorrow, and I'm saying that as a just like, have hypotheses and whatever. And now I have no job, which is which is really funny.
Hysterical. No, that's not funny.
Yeah. So the funny thing is that we really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I'm not here to scare you, but if we do something together about it, I guess we can change it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have, you're opening it in a very kind of like, why ask these questions? Well, what did you try to touch there in a viewer,
Well, we are all panicking, right? Like, even if me personally, I'm not really having this like kind of natural sense of fear, you are still influenced by environment you're in, and everyone is panicking, buying toilet paper, thinking it's going to help you. So I was just gonna kind of drive people to think about an alternative to panic, and if we can really do something that would be productive together, and really try to see how dependent we are on each other and how we can use it for our benefit. For our mutual benefit.
So that sense of panic, fear, being under threat is actually, it's actually very important, and it's also very kind of like foundational in the human being. You know what I mean? Like it motivates us to change. It motivates us to act. It can also paralyze us if it's too much. It seems like fear. I mean, I'm thinking about myself, as a child. When we're children, fear is like this huge thing for us. We're afraid of someone knowing that we made a mistake. We're afraid of being yelled at. There's a bunch of things that we're afraid of. When this virus hits us as a global society, it's funny because we can be afraid of not having toilet paper and wipes and sanitizer, like you said there. But you're saying we should actually transform that fear, right? Like we should be afraid of something else.
Well, it kind of comes as a package, right? The left and right kind of line, as we study in Kabbalah. Left is something that this fear is something that we avoid and want to run away from on a regular day. But you're right. I think we can actually use it now as a great motivation.
Motivation for what?
Well, that is something. I mean, we all know in theory and studying Kabbalah that we have to come up with it together. Motivation for the world, where the pandemic like that would not be necessary, where the nature is not really gonna push us to this, so that we can see how interdependent we are, how really like one person can influence the whole world. And we see that on our flesh. We can feel it now, but when everything is fine, we really live the life of filling in our stomachs and not thinking of the other and our connection
So let's anticipate, because in Kabbalah we're not reacting to what's happening. We're determining what's happening. We studied about things like this, that this is kind of where we didn't know in what form it was going to take, but we knew that that our future was about connecting more, about these other kind of things falling away to the side, and finding out where are those heart connections, how we, regardless of what country and what religion and what gender and all those things, how we're going to all come together. Nobody could have imagined that, some guy ate however it came, but the story, some guy ate some bat soup in China, and then now the whole world has to stay at home. It's pretty silly, but what maybe where could where could some of your next vlogs go? What are the kind of things that you want to talk about now? What are the kind of things? First of all, you have a really cute style of it's like humorous, it's like funny, it's like definitely like inside of your mind. Asaf, yesterday you're talking about like Louis C.K. I mean, it's like that same kind of like you're almost hearing like the inner dialogue. It's what's more of that inner dialogue that that probably everyone is having, or that we can.
And tell us a little bit about like maybe just tell us what you're thinking about doing next, if you have an idea for your next vlog.
I have an idea. I actually spoke with Donna how to shoot it because it's really complicated. I need a second person, but it's hard now to ask for a second person because everyone is self-quarantined. So I can't really tell you what is it going to be like. Maybe you, Asaf, are going to give me some tips of how to shoot it. Yeah, it just maybe once again, I want to like.
You don't have to share all of it. Just give us a taste.
I really want to show once again that and maybe ask people and provoke people to reflect on like what are they doing now? How are they using this time that is given to us now? Are they really running the stores and buying toilet paper? Or is there any other kind of alternative to use this time as Isaac Newton, or I don't know, let's become Isaac Newtons, all of us, and develop something that would be very useful for the humanity in future. So I want this not to be a waste of time. I don't want people to drown in their fears at home watching Netflix, but I want it to be very.
So let's keep the conversation. Thank you, Anna. Let's keep the conversation going so people have comments on the kind of things they want to hear, the kind of content they want to see, the kind of things we need to talk about. It became clear today how much we need to stay in this field together, in this energy, in this womb together through this time. No, we're not alone. We're all together. We're going to continue talking together. We're going to keep the conversation going together. We want to be together. We want to give a virtual hug. We want to have music here. We want to have content here. We want to talk about really what's happening in the world, where we're going. All these vloggers are going to help continue to make content around this to keep us entertained and to keep us feeling connected and answering all the questions according to the wisdom of Kabbalah for relationships, for loneliness, for fear, for all these different aspects of what we're going to do. We're going to discover together what the new world is going to look like. We're going to determine together what the new world is going to look like. We're not going to wait for something to happen to us and react to it. The way that we treat each other now, behave together now, think about now, will determine the world that we go back outside into. Asaf, I think we're coming to the end here.
Yeah, we are. We are actually a little bit after our time. So maybe concluding words. Anna, stay with us for a concluding exercise. I'm offering us to do the following exercise. If we were to, write together like one sentence, each of us, like a 3-sentence kind of message from the coronavirus to humanity, what would it be? Anna, you go first.
We are the coronavirus and we're writing a message to humanity now?
And everyone has a sentence to put in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ask for 3 words. Or 3 sentences.
No, you can do a sentence. How many words is already depending on your creativity.
Ask yourself why it's happening and don't let it happen again.
I don't want to. I'm gonna follow up on that. I don't want to come here again. So you better realize why I'm here. Seth, you got.
I'm giving you time. I'm taking everybody, all your boss off your back and all these things off your back. I'm giving you time now to think about your loved ones, to think about the kind of life you want to live in. Take out your notebook, write about it, Start sharing it. Start talking.
All right. We were the QuaranTeam, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in, joining us. We will be here again soon. We will let you know on the Facebook page, so stay tuned. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, Anna, and thanks everyone
Bye,
for
everybody.
watching. Goodbye.